Yo gang, Rod here, Futures 8-bit. Take number 8 million. I hate starting these videos. This is my Atari 2600 7800 power supply. It originally started off as a Linksys 9-volt unregulated supply. Blah, blah, blah. I've done a side project recently of a power supply. Led me down a garden path of revisiting something. I'm going to show you how to make it. And I keep banging the desk. This is the cut I'm going with. Okay, jump cuts. I said cuts. Spoiler, this is where we're going with this. It's a box with a display in it to show you voltage, amperage, and a light bulb. Ooh, it's got a light bulb and a switch, and a thing, and some writing, which you can't really read. But you can, but you can't. Low voltage DC power tester, .com. And that's what I've made. The idea is you can plug in your center positive power supply, by the way. You'll need a gender change if you want to use this on a spectrum supply. Due to the power of science, that's how that's updating on my camera. Trust me, 11.4 volts, none amps. So if we had a machine plugged in here, it'd actually be showing you how much current it's drawing and how much voltage should drop. We'll be using a 9-volt unregulated supply here, so it's reading high. But if we flick this switch, we'll introduce a small load, and that means it's now showing 9.91 volts, believe it or not, and 0.26 of a volt. And if we flick it the other way, let's get a larger load, and now we're down to 9.82 at 1.22 volts. So what do you think about that? Like I might have said in this video, I was making a thing for a 12-volt power supply with lots of outputs, loads, switches, all kinds of lovely things, 3D printed a lovely thing, and then thought, hey, I did a thing in the past. Maybe I should do it again. So I remodeled it and made it twee. It's like a television, you see, with some L's. Oh, as I go through these to show what's best, if it's best to print them that way up or that way up. It's difficult to say, actually. I think this breaks out easier, but you get a better finish if you do it that way because you can iron it. Anyway, 29R, 6R8. Lots of resistors, lesser resistors. And that's basically when you switch this light in and out. It's a 12-volt bulb, and that's my rough calculations of how many ohms are across the line. So that way you'll get the low bulb on, and then that way you've got the high bulb on, which is drawing more current, hence you'll get more amps. That's the idea, and that's how it works. But yeah, are you still watching? Are you? What you will need for this week's hobby, a 3D printed thing, an off-on switch, 2.1mm DC jacks, a bayonet fitting, and bulb, weak lemon drink. And don't forget the DC voltage meter with amps, yes. Okay, so basically most of this is going to be done with the aid of a soldering iron, a small amount of skillage, a lot of skillage in the village. This is... Who's going to make this? Number one, put the bulb in. Why? Because you've got to cut these wires short. And they're going to be short when they're in there too. So you need to cut them. Oh, actually, here's one I prepared earlier. Ooh. And in fact, those are a tidgy bit long. So, you know, I'd say about less than that. But, you know, let's do this. I'm going to make a real one, and we're going to hope it works. Soldering iron is in hot mode. That is about their mode. Yeah, I've done it. But I'm going to keep those wires for later because we were going to need them. I find these cutters best for these. When you're doing them super short, you need something that isn't going to stretch the wire. So there we are. Shortened wire. Tin it straight up. Because you're going to want to keep these tidy. But do, when you cut these, keep them super short. Because not going to protect any of these wires. They're just going to be in there and going to be using the chassis to do the protection. So, anywho, put a couple of these in. Going to be fiddly, I'm afraid, because some muppet decided he wanted to make it as small as possible, but not necessarily easy to assemble. But, you know, style over substance, but substance with style. That's what I say. Wow, that was some marketing scum, wasn't it? The crap I come out with sometimes. Anyway, like and subscribe. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, like I say, it's fiddly because I like to make things... Why do I do this? But yeah, things should be nice, not just functionable. So yeah, when you put that in, put the, what you would call the grounding strap upwards. Yeah. You could actually argue that you don't need these nuts and screws at all. Nuts and bolts. Nuts and washers. Got there in the end. Hands up if you like nuts and washers in the comments below. What's your favourite nut? What's your favourite washer? I would love to hear your comments. For the algorithm. Now bend these directly upwards. Yep. And I'm doing this Blue Peter style to make it more difficult for me. So bend them out of the way like that. Okie dokie, lovely. Got it, got it, got it, good. All of the wires are basically that length. They're the length of the width of the top. You can lose the negative wire in the middle. You can either cut that off. You can leave it there if you like, but I'm just going to shove a sharp end of these prangers in here. Bend that pin back. Black wire a go-go. I'm going to cut that wire and that wire effectively the same length as each other. And you don't want too much because you do have to squeeze all this back in the case. So effectively that's the length of the cross there, you see. I hope that's not too short. Put those up there. There's evidence of my misdoings. These two actually join together as we're doing the wires. So let's just join those two together. Doing this all out of sorts. I bet there will be pictures which you can follow on the website which might be a bit easier. So I've just joined those two together. These two are not being joined together. This is where the load goes across. If you look at the circuit too much, your brain will explode because if you're anything like me, you'd be thinking it's wrong, but it's right because you're actually running a load. So what looks like negative will become positive later. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. So they're tinned. And now this bit of leftover, the thick wire this is. Yours the thick wire. Just going to tin the end of that. Like so. How long do I want it? Oh, that's a good question. I actually think it's still roughly that long. So that's what I'm going to do. Roughly that long. But this end, I'm going to do a real tiny tinnage. Like that. A tiny little bit on the end there. Because again, this is going to go in a tight spot. And I'm not using heat shrinks and stuff. You don't really need it. We're only talking low voltages here. But that's still not an excuse for shorting everything out and having a bad day. So anyway, whilst I've got everything out, I'm just going to quickly put a bit of tin on these pinnages here, down here. Don't put too much on. And this is off, on, off, on. It's important. Middle does nothing. Middle effectively isolates everything. So yeah, on, off, on switch. So that's the way up. So the one with the long element in your face at your front, or even the long dip, you'll notice on one side of this bayonet fitting, because it's a dual element bulb, that goes down a long way near focus, and that goes down less of a way on that side. Going for the long way. Anywho, what I want to do here is these two wires from that bulb, I want to just touch them on there so that switch holds itself up effectively. I think when I did the last one, I actually put it in a pair of grips. Outer. So that's there soldered on the two outer pins. Middle pin's got nothing on it. That's what this wire's for. Pick the wire through the hole. So it's like that. It's like a little winky. Put that through there like that. Put that on like that. I wasn't doing it to camera. Only a few minutes really to make one of these. Now I've planned it all out. Again, you don't really need one of these, but it is a convenient way of checking the load on something. So that floaty wire is on the middle pin under that switch. Got that? Good. Pop the bulb out. Tuck that in there. Now, it doesn't just like fall in, because that's just too easy. What you need to do is the switch, you see the hill, is good to go in there, in between those gaps. And the base of this bulb here needs to go into those little slots just underneath those fittings, you see? Because of the tight tolerances and now I've taken that bulb out, this switch is now wedged up that way, which is fine, because that actually helps you assemble it, he said. And with a little bit of finagling, that switch should fall into its gully. It will go in a little bit better if you put the bulb in, because that takes the load off of the wire. So you can actually push the switch arm down and it pops underneath. And then all I should have to do is push it and it will pop up there. Right, and now that's popped in, it's just ever so slightly proud, because I like that. I like that. You can't accidentally switch it. But if the switch is a bit low, you just pull on this wire. Ready? Rude. We have the bulb in, we have the bayonet fitting in, we've got the 2 DC jacks, we've got the switch just floating there loose in the middle. Okay. Right, so let's connect some stuff up. Now, what you got here, look. Oh, look at these. Oh my God, that's shorting the edge there. No, actually, it's the circuit. So, what we need to do is going to do that. I don't know how you're going to see any of this stuff. I'm not geared up to do videos like this. Right, so there we go. Got a bit of blob on that, and then you give it a little bit of heat, and as you probably can see, you see that? Just got to look where my soldering iron is. That has tinned across nicely, and it's connected to the chassis there. Do the same on the other side. Nice blobbish of solder. Don't bother trying to use lead-free solder for stuff like this. But there we go. Anyway, so the centre pin from the DC jack's connected to both sides of the chassis of the bayonet, connected there. Seems a bit strange, but it's absolutely fine. That's the plan. Right, and then what we need to do, probably a good idea to do it now, just put a bit of solder on the 2 tails. And then we're also going to need a little bit of solder on the edge of this chassis here. These 2 wires are indeed together. It's fine. It's meant to be like this. I'm going to connect them to the back of that chassis there. That's actually the power and the sense connector, as 'twere. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is connect the tail that will actually check the load across the circuit. The black wire goes to the left-hand side, like so. So yeah, the thick black wire from the middle of the switch is now going to go to the chassis tab at the top there on the right hand side. Okay, so that thick black wire from the middle of the switch is now connected over there, and then the red wire is also going to connect over there. Your brain will explode. It's fine. It's fine. Kaboom! Without melting the case or your fingers. Okay. That is tagged on there. I've done better soldering jobs than that, but that's okay. This is good enough for demonstration purpose. I've now managed to get that through there. I will unloop that. But obviously, this is basically it. That is it all wired. So I'll go through this again. Let's see it nice and close up. I know this is a terrible microphone and picture and everything, but you know, it's what we've got. The 2 chassis connector centre pin actually soldered to the chassis of the bayonet. You should be able to see that there. And there. Okay, and then the 2 wires that come from the bayonet go to the 2 outsides of the switch. The middle wire on the switch then goes across to the chassis on this side, and then the load connector, as I'm going to call it, that's where the load goes across the circuit to be tested. Negative goes on the chassis on this side, positive goes to the chassis on the other side. It's fine, don't panic. And then, I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but the middle wire, did I mention this? Might have mentioned this. The middle wire from the switch also goes to the chassis. Before you close it up, you know what's a good thing to do? Connect the 2 tails. And I haven't, this is the first go on this, so if I've screwed this up, this is the video that's going to go out. Light bulb is in. Where's the DC power? Oh, we've got 11.4 unregulated volts there. Low draw, we've got 10 volts, 0.3. And high draw, we've got 8.5 volts of 0.12. So yeah, gives you a bit of an idea if your power supply is up to snuff. This supply is good for 1 amp. So obviously it's drawing slightly over an amp there. So the voltage has gone below 9 volts, but only just. Not bad supply actually. But the next thing to do, of course, is the slightly tricky bit of convincing these ultra short wires that they should live in here forever. So as you close this up, you will have to obviously be a little bit mechanically sympathetic. That just closed up lovely, actually. There we are. I've made another one. These cheap display things, they're not perfect. They have got calibration debris on the back, but you know, you should only use something like this as a bit of a guide of what's going on. You can sort of see like for like compared to other devices. But yeah, you might find something like this useful or an interesting project to try. I've not calibrated a single one of these. Go into Alien versus Predator mode. Look at that. It's worth it for these special effects. So special. So yeah, speak your mind words below if you bother to make one of these things. And do remember, if you are using this with a spectrum or such, which is reverse polarity, you'll need to make a gender changer, which is easy. You just get those connectors. Maybe there's pictures of those on the website as well. But yeah, as a distraction to all of the other things I've done, I've made some of these.
So there we have it. There's my low voltage power supply tester, also showing you how much current is being drawn through there with the gender changer for the spectrum, because center negative on the spectrum. So yeah, can introduce a bit more load actually. There we are. Look at that. Power supply's doing well. I won't go further because that's about an amp extra. But yeah, it is the sort of thing that I find useful. You might find useful as well. Links, descriptions, videos. Go make your own. Bye.